I understand a number of projects in Tsholotsho that are recently installed. I wanted to find out from you, do you have any idea what resulted in that sudden stoppage? Talk of the construction of Tsholotsho to Pelanda Road. What best irrigation schemes and resurfacing of the Tsholotsho CBD as well as the Tsholotsho Stadium? Do you have any idea what has been happening? Is there any connection between the so-called confusion in Zambia and the sudden stoppage?
Okay. I'll come back to you later. We want to give others a chance.
I'm delighted being here. I just want to find what's the rationale, or is it the wisdom behind keeping thousands upon thousands of graduates each and every year when you know that there are no jobs on the formal market? And also, what's your stance on the commodification of education in tertiary institutions, given that we have got thousands upon thousands of students who are deferring each and every year? And those are lives that are being destroyed. Thank you.
When I was here last time, I explained that with respect to the Tsholotsho Stadium, some people threw spanners. I explained it. I said they went there and we had really made quite some progress, and we were going to get treasury bills for that. And people organized and said, oh, why do you want to use that for a stadium? We can build X hundred balls and so forth. And this through span. And we tried to, and we thought they took advantage of the fact that we would go there with prospective contractors and so forth. And they knew who was who and doing what, and our being transparent was an opportunity for them to make mischief. So we thought we should be quiet and do things quietly. So when we were doing them quietly and we were about to make a breakthrough, some fugitives came rushing our way. And then we lost some pockets. So, you know, when things like that happen, you may end up taking a negative attitude. More so when you look at the progress, as you point out, you are very familiar, going by your narration, of the situation. For example, the word-based irrigation system, which is a pioneering, quite innovative project. We made lots of progress, and then suddenly people were playing hide and seek. The same with the Tsholotsho Pelanda Road and so forth. I think it would be naive of me to say these things are not connected. They obviously are. And obviously the people have been running around to smear. If you see them having the courage to attack the chiefs, you know, if somebody tells you that, listen, I bought the tricycle or motorbike or bicycle for the chief, if you are a proper Zimbabwean, you're supposed to say, all right, are you sure? Yeah, and you must go and find out, you know. Not to say, Vaniga, abantu makaza, you know, ordinary people. And so that kind of thing does then create some confusion and people become concerned. But I can tell you, we've seen some of the stories and so forth, but even on this score, a member of parliament must represent their community, their constituency. And when they encounter these kinds of difficulties, they must wait around those difficulties, represent the community. You know, you don't want an MP, a sunshine MP, who will deliver when everything is hunky-dory and wonderful. It should also deliver when it's raining, heavy rains. Deal with this. So we are dealing with this. We are. And we want to see if there's anyone who believes that the constituencies there are not entitled to development. We want to see and deal with those people. Well, I think this this question about why are you capping the people, why are we educating people when we know that there are no jobs? This is an example of an irrational question. Because if the question is rational, it means we should stop educating people. And the reason we should stop educating people is because there are no jobs. So let's stop. So the person is suggesting if we stopped, we will be congratulated for that. To say, no, you're not educating people. Why are you not educating them? It's because there are no jobs. Are wonderful. No, this is nonsensical. You must educate. Education is the most important empowerment. It's the most important empowerment because just like the sun will rise tomorrow, there will be jobs tomorrow. But it will be unfortunate if those jobs come and you are not ready for them to begin with. But education these days is not for people to get jobs. It is also for them to create jobs. It is in the first instance to empower them with the skills of life so that they can take care of themselves and those who are dependent on them in the first place. That is the education people are getting in the universities today. And the job market is not just Zimbabwe. There's a reason why we belong to SADC. There's a reason why we belong to COMESA. And we discuss these issues in those organizations about the opportunities of our citizens as communities. Zimbabweans are succeeding in SADC countries and beyond because of the education that they have. We are engaging governments that are approaching us to come up with skills export, as it were. And we are not going to export people who are not educated. This is one thing we are proud of as Zimbabweans. It gives us a comparative advantage. So it is absolute, this dialogue of saying, why are you capping people when when there are no jobs, is not a dialogue of reasonable people. It is inherently unreasonable. By ipso facto, by the very fact of the reasoning. You say, but what is this person saying? You are saying something that doesn't leave me with a policy option other than to stop educating people. That is irrational. It takes 4 years, in most cases, for a person to get an undergraduate qualification. And you're telling me I must stop doing that.
But they're becoming vendors after graduating.
Not all of them. Not all of them. And I'm telling you,
the majority.
No. The informal sector here is the most successful sector because of the economic situation that the country faces. We have one of the most dynamic small and medium enterprises sector, and it needs skills. It needs skills, and a lot of them who left without the appropriate skills should come back. They should come back because take seriously the fact that we want to make sure that in the first instance, a person who is called educated or degreed has enough life-saving skills for his or her own sake. In the first instance, and this is not the higher education that people have been getting out there. And it is very clear also that there is a national, regional, and continental commitment to industrialize these countries. And that industrialization is going to bring new opportunities. But for skilled people, it will not be opportunities for people who don't have. Now, we in the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development are currently engaging the institutions of higher and tertiary education themselves, industry, so that we now link the programs that the universities are doing with the requirements, the skills requirements of the country. We have not had a skills audit since 1982. And we need to do this now. People have been getting irrelevant degrees. The issue of what degree to pursue it needs to be re-examined now, so that there is a functional relationship between what people are studying, what the economy, the national economy needs, as well as what the regional economy needs in the case of SADC as well as COMESA. And we you know, the unwelcome fugitives have kind of cost us, because we thought come the end of this month we would at least make public the template of the skills audit that we want to do. And we're not going to be able to do that. I think now this is something we hope to do by the end of January. It's not reacting or responding, although I'm sure some will argue it is doing that, reacting or responding to what you are talking about. Because some of these colleges are graduating people. This is a media forum. Most media houses tell us that the graduates they are getting with media degrees are not fit for purpose. They tell us they end up having to invest a lot to teach them the basics of the trade. And that is signaling to us that perhaps there is a factory approach somewhere, where, you know, people enroll or are enrolled from those who are enrolling point of view to get a certificate, a piece of paper, those who are enrolling them to get some revenue. We don't think these are legitimate reasons for doing higher degrees. We think there should be more to it than that. And it is important even in the national interest. But the alarmist view of, oh, there are too many. No, actually, our higher education does not match our primary and secondary education. We've done very well in primary and secondary education, but there's a much more to be done in higher education, and the numbers are not the kind that you're talking about. No, they are not. For example, the secondary school system churns out at least the people who write or sit for O levels in a given year, about 310,000. And out of those, only 30,000 go for A level. And out of the 30,000 who go for A level, only 16,000 go for higher education. And these are not staggering numbers. What should worry you if you are raising a national question about the state of our education is that if only 30,000 go for A level after O level, where do 267,000 go? You understand what I'm saying? That is worrying me much more than what you're talking about, because the numbers are much lower, my friends. I'm very worried about those, because it means we must come up with a serious post-O-level system for training artisans. Because the artisans and the technicians, these are the people who really keep the economy going, make the economy run, those people. The guys who go for university, what we expect of them is to be innovative, come up with new ideas, you know. And if you're telling me they are not innovative, they are not coming up with new ideas, let's find ways of dealing with that, so that you don't come back and say, but they're just selling airtime and so forth. We might even find better digital ways that make it unnecessary for anyone to sell airtime. we stematize that and we see what's going to happen.
My question is, how would you define those people who are loyal to the country, loyal to the legacy, but don't have faith in individuality?
They don't have faith in what?
In a leader.
In a leader?
Yes, individual leader.
Well, they won't vote for you. Did you say, how would I?
How
What?
would you define those people?
No, they are loyalists. The loyalists will not vote for anyone who is useless.
Prof, there are people who believe that our institutions in the Zimbabwean setup are captured by some that want to jump the queue in as far as succeeding the president or the status quo. They have made mention of the security sector, the media, and coincidentally we have sued the guys from the Sunday Mail for what you say is
Defamation.
yeah, defamation. The question is, there's a difference obviously with the South African state of capture that Thuli Madonsela made reference to. Are our state institutions captured in the relay to the succession of the president?
Well, first of all, this idea of people being accused of jumping the queue merely confirms successionists who think they are entitled to something, and they think there's a queue. I mean, how can you have a queue in a constitutional democracy? There's no queue. In a constitutional democracy, it's up to the people to decide. Everyone is equal before the law. So no one can jump a queue. No, you made reference to that. But regarding the state capture, it's I think fair to say an attempt is underway, but has it been successful? The jury is out on that. And it's something that perhaps people believe is a strategy to use, capture the whole or part, a critical part of this public media, capture judicial institutions or institutions that have something to do with the administration of criminal justice. It's a typical third way thing for people to try and intimidate their opponents through the system of criminal justice. But you are right that it's not quite the same as what we hear is happening in South Africa, even though the South African case also has not been concluded, so that we can say its features are these. But there's something interesting right now between what's happening in Zimbabwe and in South Africa. There's some interesting parallels. Our or their system is kind of running parallel to the other. But no, we haven't said that institutions have been totally captured and people have run away with these institutions. Of course not.